ask the same question I keep asking everybody this week: is how's your societal collapse going? It could be better.
Pretty good.
I
feel like I have a different perspective than everybody else. My town is like 200,000 people, so I guess I have it pretty nice.
I mean, all things considered, the county I live in, there's only 4 people with recorded infections. Reported infections.
The town I live in currently today has 5, which isn't bad, but at the same time, I've been actively staying inside and avoiding most people, unless I have to go to my retail job.
Oh well, I mean, I've been practicing social distancing since I was like 12, so I'm not that worried about it.
We were made for this.
Who would have thought my lifestyle had a name to it all this time? So
it's weird. It's weird how little my life has changed.
Yeah.
Now Hunter offering real perspective.
I'm just doing more podcasting now. That's the difference. I'm just doing. I'm recording more shows like this.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me, at least, is, as I've said multiple times, I work in a hospital, and we've had 2 cases. One of them is a patient that's there, which is fine because I don't have any contact with them. The other one was a healthcare provider that works in the OR.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. And the department manager had told us, like, we haven't had any contact with them. Nothing that came up from the OR we would have had any contact with, or if they had any contact with, that we would worry about. But it's a time bomb, and it's coming. And if it hits my department in any way, shape, or form in any of the shifts, everyone's going to be paying.
Everyone's going home.
Well, not everyone, but if, let's say, 3rd shift somebody gets it, all of the people on that shift will be quarantined, which means 1st and 2nd shift will have to be picking up the slack, and so on and so forth. So
at the animal hospital, we have to do this thing now where we are, like, we're minimizing what we see. Like, so don't, like, your dog's fucking anal glands don't need to be expressed today, okay? Stay the fucking side. We're running outside, grabbing animals from people's cars, bring them in, doing what we have to do, and trying to get them back into the car as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
We're for, like, non-emergency shit, but, like, can't imagine, like, well, can't help you there, bye.
Here, we'll put your dog down in the car.
Yeah. And I first thought I had was, like, do we get roller skates, though? And unfortunately, we don't.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, I'm sure safety hazards, all that stuff.
They could melt in the sun.
I think they should give you racer scooters.
Oh God!
Just rolling a little fucking Segway. How can I help you?
Oh, I live in one of those cities that there's literally scooters, goddamn, everywhere.
Yeah, same.
Literally, they're in my back alley all the time.
Downtown is mostly scooters. It's entirely scooters. Just
my neighborhood, I saw so many people walking together. I'm like, yep, we are definitely practicing this all correctly.
I was in Philadelphia it was actually one of my trips back east, and for some reason that day I saw like 3 to 4 groups of like a dozen people all on Segways in traffic. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
I bet it was probably like a tour.
Yeah. Well,
Probably.
I mean, one, I'm sorry you went to Philadelphia when you were coming home for more
That's where I landed.
Yeah. 2, yeah, like Lou said, that was most likely a city tour for a bunch of look.
I see them all the time because DC. So
yeah,
such a weird thing to see.
Yeah. So, what are we here for tonight?
We're all going to talk about quarantine recommendations for movies, TV, games, books, pieces of entertainment, basically. Because the whole world's being shut in, so not by choice this time. We have a bit of a packed house. We're all pretty much here, so sound off your names.
Yeah. It's me, the Arlen.
The Arlen. Wow.
The Arlen.
Arlen. Wow. I think Arlen's fully let this podcasting gone to his head.
All that alone time really got to your head.
I'm the only
Welcome to Lost Horror Pod.
Bouts of masturbation while wearing a tinfoil crown.
Yep. Yeah. I only do 2 things now. Podcast and
I'm king of Orgasm Town.
That was
I'm like Lamagra and Blade.
that was one
Or not
introduction,
Lamagra.
everybody.
Everybody jumped on those, so hey.
I mean, you put it out there.
True.
Who's next?
This is still America's Boyfriend, Hunter Davenport. Wash your damn hands.
That's right, motherfucker.
I'm Erik Fedorchak, and in this post-apocalyptic world, I will be the lord of the filth. And I don't mean filth as in dirt. I mean filth as in the most disgusting and depraved porn, and I will sit upon it like a throne.
Are you going to look like a Morton Joe though?
No, Eric's just playing Prefers Family all day, 24 hours.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I imagine him dressed like Danny McBride at the end of This Is the End.
Oh, God.
Except,
who's the Channing Tatum in that movie?
Probably you, John.
If that's your
You're the
particular-
closest.
If that's your particular thing, cool. I'm not into that. But my
You say that now.
well,
When
my
the world's
scepter,
ending, no judgment.
my scepter will be made of fist dildos. So
Uh-huh.
Throne.
Yeah.
oh, my throne will just be made of terrible hentai videotapes.
Oh my god!
Actual tentacles.
It's like the Iron Throne, but it's just fucking books glued together.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all the tapes from that episode that I listened to recently that you guys did
you
without
assume
me.
it'll be glue?
God damn it.
I mean, you can put quotes around that. All right, who the fuck else is here?
I'll go.
You socially awkward bastards. My god, somebody draw.
Okay, no, before John, okay.
Listen,
John,
again.
before you say this, the order is supposed to be Connor, me, Hunter, Eric, Lou,
Yes.
then you, because that's
Yes.
the order in which people appeared on the show. So that is the official thing.
Okay,
Um,
Arlen, we've
just-
thrown
I
that
was-
out the
I
window
was
in like
trying-
5 minutes.
Yeah, we did too. that
I
ain't
know.
happening.
I'm just saying.
This is how we do it. We don't ever do it, but this is how we do it.
Yeah.
I am half a bottle of cider deep. Do not judge me.
Whoa!
That sounds-
Whoa! Slow down there, drunkie.
Okay, so yeah, that was John being yelled at, and Lou is
Yeah.
also here. So hello.
Well,
I
I'm
had a
Lou.
bit
I'm-
planned and everything, you sons of bitches.
this
You
is
can
Lou.
still do the bit, John. You can
I
still.
was gonna say I'm here with my friend Bill, who's totally real and is absolutely not imaginary.
See, I was trying to let John go because I had a bit, which was going to be I'm Lou. I'm AKA diversity hire, AKA
The paragon of minorities.
yes, the paragon of minorities with Aka Hunter, AKA too tall to wash his hands at the sink.
It's true.
So
I
for
got
the-
a hose. I got to run from the back.
There's only so many waterfalls in the Northeast.
Yeah.
region.
Just
no,
imagine
the only time Hunter can wash his hands is when it rains and he feels more like
Damn.
I'm just thinking about
I'm
New Hampshire.
imagining-
Not a lot of waterfalls. You know?
I'm imagining
Hunter-
Hunter in like a public restroom, and like he's just this fucking giant whose head is like scraping the ceiling, and if you kind of look down his peripheral, it's like a perfect J where his hands are just kind of cuffed out. I cannot use this.
My head's resting on the mirror.
Yeah.
I just imagine him like having to squat down to put his hands in the air dryer.
looks like he's riding a bike.
He just squeezes rain clouds to get water.
God damn. God damn.
this is indicative of the show. This is gonna be like
No, John, that was probably very out of context to you. It was because that was the first time I've heard a show with Andy.
Oh,
I was
And
Andy,
his like sudden explosive jokes because he just sits there politely quiet the whole time and then interrupts you with something just that you can't recover from.
yes.
Although
It
I
was-
feel like I had a really good joke from typing in that show.
I feel like if I was there, I wouldn't.
Can't remember what it was because I definitely
It was
laughing at it.
Eric already had a mortgage.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So what do we want to talk about first? Movies, games, comics, whatever the
I
fuck.
mean, why don't we just go in the order that is on this this shut-in suggestion Google Doc?
Sure. What is that order?
Sure.
Because I don't have it pulled up in front of me.
Films.
It's films, TV, games, comics, and other.
Okie
Oh,
dokie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone want to go first? Are we all going to be just as shy for that?
Yes.
That's what we do, Connor. That's what we do.
I forgot how to interact with people, Connor.
I'm pointing my toes towards each other and putting a finger to the side of my mouth right now.
I'm putting a hand on my nose, even though I know I shouldn't be right now.
So
Right.
how do we have conversations? Like, how does this?
How does talking? How do human?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I talk to my wife and then I yell at the screen when I'm playing Doom, and that's about it.
I thought you were going to say you yell at children on the street.
No. What are they doing outside?
Yeah.
No, they're on your lawn.
It's a goddamn quarantine. What are you doing, you dipshits?
No, I would
Fuck back inside.
I would hose them down if I had a front lawn.
So I'll go first. Why the fuck not? And I only came in with 3 movies, so everything else that gets brought up tonight, I'll just jump on board with. So there's a movie I saw a long time ago on Shudder when I first got that service. I think like right after it launched, within the first few months or something like that. There's a little movie on there called The Divide, which is one of the nastiest, best, just grossest but really fun isolation movies I've ever seen.
Hilarious.
And it's Michael Bihn's in it and fucking nobody else. And it was directed by the guy who made the Hitman movie and not the second one.
Wait, it's just just Michael Biehn?
No. It's a new kid's New York, and everyone runs downstairs from this apartment building into Michael Bihn's like doomsday prep house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they're on like a vault together, and like immediately the internal like ecosystem of that place just falls apart. Like everyone turns on each other. They show
I've seen this
physically degrading as they spend time in this place because like radiation is seeping in. There's a weird subplot about like government goons who come in with machine guns and start shooting at them.
I've got to ask. You say it takes place in New York. Is that a rent control doomsday shelter, or what is the rent looking like on that?
Honestly, I don't know how this many people who are like I said, it looks like an apartment building. They all just run downstairs, and there's Michael Biehn with a door, like, come on! And they all run inside. I'm like, where was that?
Yeah.
New York, duh.
But logical fallacies aside, the movie's really fucking fun. And it's got absolutely brutal ending. Michael Bihn's awesome. And who's Vio Ventimiglia? What the fuck is that guy's name?
Milo Ventimiglia?
There we go. He's kind of the bad guy in the movie, and he's awesome.
Ooh.
Oh, the dude from Heroes?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Oh.
And
I always remember him. I was going to say from Gilmore Girls because it's my wife's favorite show.
The amount of people who are like, I know that person from Gilmore Girls kind of shocks me, and a lot of them are dudes, and I'm like, I've never looked at that show.
Dude, Gilmore Girls actually fucking rules.
She's a very, very good writer. Like, the dialogue in the show is written very well. But yeah.
I do need to watch that show.
It's great.
No, well, it has, what's his name? James Gunn's brother is in the show. As like,
Sean Gunn.
Sean Gunn's in like the entire show as like kind of an autistic man.
That tracks. That tracks.
Kind of.
Alexis Bledel is very pretty. So
yeah.
Thank you, Hunter.
It's worth watching.
You can sit down now.
Okay.
You told us about your new weekly waifu.
No, the mom is much better looking, Lorelai.
So this will not become a conversation about the Gilmore Girls. Yeah, The Divide's really fucking good, and I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm sure it still holds up. It's really mean. It's particularly nasty. Hunter, you said you saw it, so I'm sure you can agree.
Yeah, it's.
I was gonna ask if this is gonna become the new "Hey Hunter, watch this movie."
Well, there's a lot of those.
I've already watched it.
Yeah, you've already watched it, so it doesn't make sense anymore.
Crisis averted. I don't know if anybody has interest in that, but that's pretty much just a movie I wanted to shout out because I never get to talk about it.
It's something I remember you posted the trailer for in Pixels and Reels a long time ago, and I was like, oh, I remember hearing about that movie. And then when I finally got Shudder, which I recently going through, like, well, do I really need this because of financial issues right now? I canceled Shudder, but it hasn't been on there in forever, so I'm kind of shocked that it's never appeared again. So, but regardless, yeah, I've always been very curious about it, and I'll give anything with Michael Biehn a chance.
Well, it is currently on Tubi and Vudu for free. Just
it's on Tubi. Okay, cool.
Tubi has everything. No man.
Yeah,
it kind of does. Like, I think I scrolled to their horror section one day and stopped at 800 titles. I was like, all right, at this point, like, if you have this many, I doubt many are good.
It has
this many.
So
Bravo.
many Transformers.
All this garbage.
I think the hitch is that it's all in standard def. That's the That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
That and 7/10 of it is garbage.
Yeah, so you
Well,
gotta pretend like
I
it's
will say
2006.
though, really quick, if you do not have Shudder, I mean, I don't. I know they're offering now during this whole thing like 30-day
Yes.
free trial.
Yeah, that's for new subscribers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're the first company I've heard of to actually be very generous with like everything that's going on and realizing this could be a great moneymaker for them.
Well,
Because
it's not just them; it's their parent company also, which is AMC.
okay.
Because they're doing the same thing for Sundance. I signed up for that and found out that there are no movies on the Sundance channel.
What?
Apparently,
Huh?
but I got it for 30 days for free, so why not? And I think they're doing the same thing for AMC, BBC America, all those
I know
that's-
Creep
things.
Show is premiering on AMC, like they're putting it up.
Yes, they're
well,
they're good about that though. That's the thing. If something's big somewhere or it gets a lot of attention, they'll put it somewhere else to get more attention on it there. So yeah.
Cool. Hunter, god damn it. Connor, what else did you have for us?
I only came in with 2 movies, so I mean,
That's
I guess,
fine.
Well, okay.
Well, did we
3
want to go by
movies.
person? Or...
Yeah, go ahead. Go somebody else. The divide.
Well, I'll go.
Are we going in order?
Well, I'll go then.
Yeah.
I would say I'll go if you want me to, because I have
No.
quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Well, yeah. So mine could take a while because I know a lot of us will have opinions on this. And mine's from the movies list as well, and it's a series because I was thinking what's gonna take up the most time for people who are listening to this. So I chose the Indonesian Silat films, which is not a sexy title to call them by, but it's the most encompassing thing I can think of. And that includes both the Raid movies and the movies.
I was gonna say, I was like, is this
Yeah.
the Raid movie?
It is, but here's the thing: the same stunt
Salah could be
team.
a better name.
Yeah, the same stunt team, and the second director of the Raid and the Raid 2. They've done a lot of other movies also. He co-directed the segment for VHS 2.
Yep.
And he directed Killers, Headshot, May the Devil Take You, and Night Comes for Us, which I believe
Headshot is dope.
Yeah, I believe all 4 of them are on Netflix, at least 3 of them. I've seen The Night Comes for Us, and it is as good as one of the Raid movies, I would say.
Oh, fuck.
I've heard it's very good. I know it's with Joe Taliesin? Yeah.
Yes, he's the guy, I think, in the first Raid who like thinks he can take on Mad Dog, but he gets chumped.
He's
like,
also in
immediately.
Fast. He's also in Fast 6 as a dude who kicked Tyrese's ass.
Is it the main
Yes.
character's
What?
brother, or is it somebody else who gets fucking
It's the
destroyed?
other guy. It's the guy who's big, and you're like, okay, well, he's like the biggest guy on the force,
Okay.
so he's gonna like destroy Mad Dog.
The long.
but he's Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. This is gonna be Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I would
So,
actually
yeah.
I tag in because I think mine I put in there was the Tony Jaa stuff. I think it's kind of similar.
It's similar. I'm specifically talking about this Indonesian stunt team, but it's sort of, same world.
It's like because like that was what kind of the Tony Jaa started off, was like all the crazy ass stunts he would do in his older movies.
That
I
stuff
think
was
it's-
fun, but then by the time it was like, what is it, the third Ong Bak? I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah,
even is this fucking movie now?
That's
Like,
when they
I've
started
only
doing
seen Ong Bak 1.
Yeah. Just watch Ong Bak 1, The Protector. But he's been like a stunt guy for like forever too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
and he's
Connor-
pretty good. Yeah.
Connor, to your point about on Bach 3, I think that was the point where Tony Jaa kind of lost his mind for a little bit, because didn't he disappear from like the public eye because he became super religious and like was claiming
I was gonna
people
say,
were out
yeah,
to get
because-
him.
Yeah, Ong Bak 2 ends with a cliffhanger, and then the third one is like this like hyper spiritual movie, and it goes all in on like fantastical elements. You're like, this wasn't in this series before. What's happening?
No, the second one goes into the past where he's like this ancient Thai warrior.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
But the fucking
rad.
Raid movies rule, and I still think both of those movies have. Well, the first movie has that 2-on-1, but the second movie has that like 8-minute one-on-one fight in the kitchen that was just like,
Yeah.
Oh,
like
dude.
watching a fucking wrestling match. Like it was making
Yeah.
me scream at the
I would
fucking
also
screen.
argue the
Yeah.
entire prison mud fight scene.
Yeah.
is-
So I do want to say, I feel like the Raid movies are kind of obvious, so that's why I put this on here, not just so we can talk about the Raid movies again,
And
but because I want people to know that those people who are in those movies, they do other movies, and they're also worth your time. They're
Also,
worth checking out.
If you like those, you should probably watch Dread. It's not as action
sure
like oriented as the Raid movies are, but like it's kind of the same thing, but with more kind of like
it's the Raid, but shot through a lens that's just like all just 1000% style overloads.
Yes.
It's awesome for a lot of the same reasons, but also a lot of very different.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really need to see The Night Comes for Us because that looked incredible.
Yeah, it's well, that one's a horror movie actually. Like it's a
really
martial arts horror movie.
Yeah.
Well, there's it's kind of scary in parts, but it's hard to describe why it's scary, but it is kind of terrifying.
Oh no.
What?
Oh my god!
I forgot Tony Jaa's in the Monster Hunter movie.
We don't talk about this here.
No,
we don't discuss this.
That was
for
some reason.
Lou. We don't mention this.
That was in the pictures of like.
It's supposed to be a safe space.
Sea-Lot
Maybe
Films.
it'll be canceled if movie theaters are still closed.
Sea-Lot Films.
I did want to second what you were saying, Arlen. At least with VHS 2, because personally that's the superior of the VHS films. But that particular segment of VHS 2 is phenomenal. I mean,
Which
that
one
entire,
is it again?
It's the one with the cult.
It's the cult. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the one that looks like it was shot by the Raid guys.
I watched the VHS movies recently, and like they're really good.
The first one's a bit too rapey for my
liking.
But
the first one feels
there are
disgusting.
segments where I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's like anything with an anthology series. You're gonna dislike certain segments a lot, and you're gonna like some segments a lot.
I dislike the whole first movie. It's too rapey for my liking.
I can't remember what segment it is, but there's one in there that really works for me.
It's the glitch one, if I remember correctly. That
The
was
glitch. The glitch one is one that I adore because that's when I watched that, I was like, "This is what slasher movies should be. They should do this. They should do the slasher, but a different take on it, something we haven't seen before." But they just keep on like repeating the greatest hits whenever anybody tries to do a new one. Okay.
The Sea-Lot movies.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen them, go give them a shot. Most of them are on Netflix, so you should be able to watch them. Who's next?
Hunter.
Okay. Do you want me to go? Or do you want me to
No, go ahead, John.
Whoever wants to go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go. I
the
guess
death.
this would be my chance to recommend a comedy movie. Because I am of someone where we're shut in and everything's kind of a little right now. It's kind of recommend something that would get your mind off of it and like you escape for a little while. So I have a bunch of options, but my first option I'm gonna go with is Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping, aka the Lonely Island movie.
I have never seen that.
Same.
What
is?
I've never seen it either.
Okay. Wow. I hate all of you.
You have a reaction I didn't expect at all.
No, this is. If I had to make a ranked list of like top 10 comedies of the last 10 years, aside from the fact that I hate lists, as we've discussed many times before, and I would want to murder the person who's forcing me to do that, I would put that near my top 3. Top 5.
Yeah, that's what I would put. It's pretty much it's a send up of the pop music industry as it is today, and it's so goddamn funny. Like every joke lands, and it's,
I think part of the problem was when it was coming out, the marketing for it was like non-existent.
Oh, the marketing was atrocious, and they fucked up.
Yeah, and the movie just died, and I never heard about it again until right now.
Well, something that somebody said right when it came out was, if this came out on Netflix right now, it would be the biggest movie of all time. And that's 100% accurate. Like if they just dropped it, because it would be like in a different decade, this would be one of those cult movies that people just keep repeating the jokes to over and over again until it keeps growing and growing and growing. Right. Yeah, kind of. It's almost like they have some experience in that arena. But yeah, it's a really funny movie, and also the songs are kind of good, while
also
being
really
send-ups. Yeah, like while being the best send-ups of like trashy pop music, they're also really well done, and it's the Lonely Island guys, so it's not that surprising. But I would even put it above.
I
what
will
they
say
normally
though,
do.
it's not even the Lonely Island. It's how I first discovered him, and he's now on SNL. Chris
Mm.
Red as Hunter the Hungry. It's supposed to be Tyler
Yeah.
the Creator parody.
What?
He's one of the
Yes.
funniest
Yeah, so
fucking
there's a
characters.
rapper. There's a rapper character who's like leading Andy Samberg into the dark side of things.
Okay,
It's
I
so
need to
great.
see this movie.
Like
It's
Andy,
literally one of his lines. His first line is stomping through the forest like a retarded Tyrannosaurus.
It's so good.
No.
It's so
Okay.
good. Like God, like
Okay.
John,
Is
the
this
wolves scene. The wolves scene. Like it's so,
No, not
Is
even the
this-
wolf scene, the bee scene.
the bees.
this-
Yes, the bees.
Oh shit,
Oh,
the
God.
queen!
Is this currently available to stream anywhere? Is it on Netflix?
think
it's on
It's
Netflix.
not on Netflix,
I don't
unfortunately.
think it is. Sadly.
Okay.
No, I
Okay.
think it's on like HBO. Let me check really quickly because it's actually, even if you rented it, it's worth a rental.
I think
Okay.
I got you. I think I might have it before.
It's on Amazon
Yeah.
Prime. Looks
I
like.
don't have Amazon Prime.
iTunes,
I-
Amazon, Vudu, YouTube. So you'd have to
I-
rent it, but worth
Okay.
getting.
I think
Okay.
another reason I ever saw this is because going to the theater for a comedy now just feels like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
watched it at home as well.
Oh, it's
I-
not even
you
on
know what?
Oh,
Amazon.
no,
You know
me and
what?
my friend, because we're such big Lonely Island fans, we saw him in concert last summer. We went day one.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
You know what actually killed that desire for me was The Hangover 3.
I
Well-
understand that completely.
Oh, you mean the
I
director
get
of the
that.
Joker?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that guy.
Mhm. Oscar-nominated director of The Joker.
Todd
That
Phillips?
guy. Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Connor, not to turn this into this, but you do this sometimes. You pick the worst reasons to like abandon
To-
things.
Yeah, to just totally sleep on something. I know, I do it all the time.
It's like, oh, you mean this person?
And
that
what
just
of it,
came in-
motherfucker?
It's like
Honestly-
something I sniff about it makes me go, and then later on everyone's like, that thing was awesome. I'm like, oh, I feel dumb.
Well, I just mean the concept of a comedy, not even this specific
Oh,
film.
I will say though, one of the other jokes is they make fun of the whole U2 putting their album on iTunes without telling
Yes.
people thing.
Well, that's the thing. There are so many jokes that are clearly of the moment that movie came out, but there are other jokes that are just like endlessly funny. They're forever funny.
Like it got genuine belly laughs out of me.
Mhm.
But not to turn this into a tangent because I don't want to have to rage about this movie, but I remember a comedy I saw in theaters that physically and spiritually broke me, and it was Year One.
Oh, that's a bad
Oh.
film.
Oh,
that's
God.
a bad
Speaking
film.
of which, this is also produced by Judd Apatow, but it's much better.
What?
but yeah,
Is
Wait,
it
wait,
year one like
I
one
saw
of
it-
those scary movie, not scary movie things?
No, I can see why you would think that though. It's
Yeah,
like a
what?
parody of 10,000 BC, but somehow
Yeah.
10,000 BC is a better film.
Yeah, it's
Um,
egregiously unfunny and like 2 hours long and features some of the worst performances from people you might
saw-
like.
The
mhm.
only time I've ever seen that movie is the TV version, and
Oh.
Dude. that movie is so weirdly long and not funny.
I think it's a Harold Ramis movie, and that's why it got a little excitement around it. And then people saw it, they're like, "Oh, this is just the fucking
I think
worst."
the one scene I remember actually getting one chuckle out of me was the Cain and Abel scene with Paul Rudd.
Oh
I
my
don't
god, I remember
remember
this
that.
one now. Oh
Yeah.
no.
I saw it for
That's
free.
amazing.
I saw it for free, but I worked in the movie theater, but I paid with my soul and my body. So,
Mhm.
but
I
anyway,
did too.
Yeah.
we can move on from this.
But yeah, so if you want a movie that you will just constantly belly laugh at and it'll get you out of like a sad mindset for a while, just watch Popstar. It's so
It's
fucking
great. Yeah,
funny.
great
It's
pick.
underrated as hell. It should have gotten more love.
hmm Yeah.
All right, Hunter, you got something for us?
I didn't add anything to the movies because I haven't really been watching movies. So no.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, we don't have to do movies. You can do another
Yeah, this can be
if you
anything.
want.
Okay, I'll talk about Beastars then. So I, as of late, have been kind of off of anime because there's so much bad anime that I kind of turned off on it.
Mhm.
But someone recommended this show that just came out on Netflix. It's called Beastars. So
I've seen this in passing.
I've heard of this.
But
for context, it's a romance anime, but it's
Nope.
okay.
They're like animal.
And here's my problem looking at it. Yeah, this is some furry shit, man.
It's not. Here's the thing. It's not. Okay. It's more. So, it's got more of an interesting world because it's like, there's a divide between herbivores and carnivores.
I heard it's like that Disney movie, but anime style. I think
kind of
Zootopia.
Yeah. I think Siler said it's like Zootopia, but like much more sincere.
It is, and it's really good. It's not. When I say it's a romance anime, I mean the central kind of.
What in the fuck?
That's very furry right there.
Yes, it is. There's parts of it where there are kind of furry type things.
God.
But it's actually really good, and like I think if you like an interesting world and kind of that has kind of a message, then definitely check it out.
Okay. I hate every goddamn thing about this picture. I hate every goddamn thing.
That is a fucking man dog with a visible V, and I don't like it.
This your man.
This your man. Oh.
Are you talking about the wolf or are you talking about the hyena?
I'm talking about the fucking blue-gray monstrosity.
I think Eric's about to fly off into a blind rage.
Scissors in his hand.
I'm pretty sure that the golden retriever is wearing like cut-off jean shorts, like hot pants.
God, this looks like fucking BoJack Horseman slash porn. Like it looks. So
It's not. I swear to God.
This is already our best episode ever.
Hunter, is there something more going on you're not telling us about here?
You need to put those in the tag.
Here's the thing: I don't want to like shit all over your selection because apparently this is good, but like you have to understand that the knee-jerk reaction to this image is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Without context, like it's fucking weird. But like once you watch the show, you kind of understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
This is gonna be. I'll take Hunter's word for it.
Yeah, take my word. You don't have to
admit that this exists.
But okay, yeah, it's good.
That's just like deal.
I completely trust you, but I'm never watching this.
We're all just nodding and smiling, and we're trying to back away as much as we can.
I'll watch Evangelion again before I watch this.
Listen.
Oh, you should.
Being inside has made me a little bit crazy. So.
Well, you should watch Evangelion and then go the full.
I don't see any evidence of that. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I think we've gotten what we can out of that subject with this fucking picture.
Every goddamn terrible thing that ever existed put in a single picture.
Eric's gonna wake up in a sweat in the middle of the night because he's getting that goddamn image.
It is like gazing onto a page of the Necronomicon. Like you're just like
the what now? The Necronomicon?
Yes.
All right. I'm just gonna continue with the films thing for the time being because I could easily go forever about comics. But brief one would just be everything is pretty much available in various forms if you have multiple streaming sites. So just go back and watch all the Marvel films. They're a bomb for everything right now.
Yeah,
I mean, most of them are on Disney.
I feel like that's in the obvious category of things you can do.
That's why I'm putting that in there just as a side. But
just don't watch Thor: The Dark World at all.
Okay.
Got to.
Here's the thing. I rewatched it recently. Not as bad as I remember, so maybe watch it.
Here's the thing: the worst Marvel movie is still one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
so like it's fine. Everyone shits on Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm like, okay, forget it.
It's fine.
But it's fine. And like honestly, compared to some of the really bad movies out there that make it to theaters, please, Ant-Man and the Wasp every day.
But my real choice, because my wife and I just rewatched the director's cut of it, is Dr. Sleep.
Like so good.
The other thing,
like Dr. Sleep is unbelievably good and so
fact
much better than has any
is
right
a
to
tragedy.
Exist. Yeah.
Yes. Now it may be the circumstance, but I rewatched it last night with my mother in the room, and I almost cried. I think there are reasons for that Eric might be able to, read into
maybe I'm not sure what the relationship with your mother is like, so that's
the stuff with no.
His best friend is his mother.
There's stuff with Danny's mom. So
No, I get you. But yeah, it and I've said this before in the chat multiple times, but it manages to thread the needle that it
no.
It manages
not in the middle of somebody else's bid. Hang on, keep going.
It threads the needle of paying respect to the novel.
Absolutely.
That, from what I know, I've never read the book, which I mean to.
I haven't either, so I'm right there with you.
And also managing to be a completely competent follow-up, and I mean competent in the best possible way, follow-up to Kubrick's The Shining. Like, somehow Flanagan managed to thread that needle, and he did it with no issues whatsoever, in my opinion.
And here's the thing I want to add.
Oh, sorry. It's a completely unenviable position to be in because you don't want to have either side. So
Exactly. But here's what I want to say. If you do watch the movie, watch director's cut. Theatrical cut's great, but director's cut adds so much more to it.
Yes, it does. It does. And you don't even notice it if you've already watched the original version, because you're just like, oh, this is just a slightly longer version of this scene. Oh, it adds so much more context to everything.
Like that's I'll brief little spoilers. They do at some point go back to Overlook, and that my god, it's so
and that wasn't in the book. Like in the book, the Overlook was destroyed.
Yes, it gets destroyed in the beginning, but I think they still go back to that area.
Yeah, they do.
Well, yeah, they do. But I'm saying like the actual hotel is gone because in the book it's destroyed. But it's so much better than it has any right to be. Ewan McGregor is so good. Like
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes.
Is perfect.
Yes, she is. Like it's so good. It's so fun. Like it's a horror movie, but it does everything so right that you're having a good time and you're completely involved in everything that's going on.
I think I can say this confidently, and I'm not counting like movies like Shawshank or Green Mile, but I think it truly is the best King horror adaptation we have ever gotten.
I don't know. I still think The Mist takes that,
or one of the.
What I've seen,
The Mist is brutal.
I would say it's in my King top 5 with The Shining and Misery, and I can't remember what the other ones. I mean, the first first part of it. I would put it in there. I would put it in my top 5.
It would be up there. It's just I think it really is one of the rare movies that gets King and gets it right.
Yeah.
You would put it in your top 5, but you said you don't like making lists.
Well, I don't like. No, I don't like.
Second time he said he's going to put something in his top 5 too.
Confirmed. Arlen is a Skrull.
Oh shit! Am I? No, I don't like it specifically.
But on Screen Rant, you would be too tired to act.
But I don't like specifically saying this is number 1. Wow, that just hit me. On the thing of Dr. Sleep, I of course agree with all the things you said. But for me, as like a Mike Flanagan stan, I love that it was also 100% a Flanagan movie. Like in every way, all the Flanagan stuff was there, as well as everything else that was going on. He made it unapologetically his shit.
I mean,
like,
just the little things, and I mean, this isn't necessarily a Flanaganism, but it still shows the strength of him as a director. Like, as John already said, like they go back to the Overlook. I think that's already a known quantity because of the trailers and whatnot. And I'm sorry if I'm ruining it for you, but come on, you knew this was coming. But just the scene with Ewan McGregor holding the axe going up the steps while Rose the Hat comes at him, it's done so well because it's the perfect goddamn recreation of the scene from the original Shining with Jack Nicholson being in the place of Rose.
I was going to add to that. The only thing I've seen from it was I watched the scene from it where he talks to a certain at a bar. And I thought that was fucking awesome, even though that actor's not present. But I always took that immediately as like, I don't think it's supposed to be his dad, but it's like a weird representation of him.
But the way they recreated that scene, like the shots and everything, and the cinematography and the lighting, perfect.
Also, here's the thing. Those actors, in particular in this case, she is like slowly degrading in terms of mental health. Jack can't memorize a script anymore.
No.
Oh no.
So even if they wanted to do the de-aging thing, which I think they could have, like they could have spent the money.
I think that was an option
Not that
that
it
they
would have
considered
mattered.
casting him, but like, here's one fun fact. You know the baseball scene, and this is for like, so one of the commentators, or like the dads there, is the kid from The Shining.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Like they could have gotten. I think they could have gotten a lot of those people back, but like it wasn't the best option. And I prefer that Flanagan was like, I know Alex Esso can do a good performance if I put her in this movie, and I know Henry Thomas, who's become one of his regulars, can kill it if I give him a good role.
Found out that was.
Yeah, he played Elliot in E.T. One of the things I did want to bring up, though, because watching it a second time, like, it's not that I dislike the scene because I understand the purpose of it, but it's so goddamn brutal when they take that kid, like the baseball player. Like,
oh, you mean the Wonder Kid?
It's 1 degree too much, I would say.
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
It is a lot to take in. I'll agree with you. I mean, I didn't mind it personally because I was so enamored with the rest of it, but it is very unsettling.
Like, I argue that it's necessary to show how truly evil they are, but
yes,
Jesus Christ.
Well, and here, so this is me defending it. The rest of the movie is very less is so them not going less is more in this one situation. I was definitely more okay with. Like, this is where we're gonna give you some money shots, like stuff that's up there in 80s horror movies. Like, really
build my throne.
not that kind. But yeah, like it's pretty gruesome. And I was just stunned by the fact that they pulled a Janet Leigh with it. They were like, let's just get the most famous child actor you can possibly get, and that's like torture him slowly on screen. My respect for them in that arena kind of distracted me for my first watch. It's only later.
That wasn't Justin Taylor Thomas. Who was that?
I'm not talking about in the 90s. You old
God damn it, Eric.
No, who was that actor though? Because
that was Jacob Tremblay from Room and Wonder. Good Boys.
Oh, wow! I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that makes it even more dark. Okay.
Yeah. This is like 10 years ago, or not 10, 20 years ago. Jesus Christ! If they got the kid from Sixth Sense, or Jonathan Lipnicki,
before he became a man with kid face.
Yeah, exactly. Before
Jonathan Lipnicki got so.
Or if in the 80s they had got Henry Thomas. So it's
so yeah, that was my choice. It's great. You should check it out. I mean, it's brutal at times, but it's so good, and it'll take up 3 hours of your time. Yes. So just go check it out.
This has been on the must-watch list for a little bit. I finally think I'm gonna pull the trigger. Honestly,
you all have access to.
You
all have.
It's 3 hours, but it breezes right by.
You should be able to watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
How did you not want to watch any movie going forward until you watch Terrified?
No. Now I'm just doing it on principle.
Here's the thing,
Hunter. I feel like you should watch Terrified after showing the pictures you've shown us.
We've talked about synchronizing movies and doing a movie party just amongst ourselves. Some behind the scenes chat here. I will watch the Terrified and Lake Mungo with you, Hunter, if you promise to do it right now.
Okay, I can't do it tonight because
not tonight,
for obvious reasons, but okay, I'm willing to take you up on that offer.
Okay, we'll talk about this much later.
Speaking of which, actually going back onto it, one of my recommendations, I'll get into it later, was Netflix Party.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I would recommend it.
Yeah. All right, Lou, I guess it would be your choice at this point.
Oh, okay. So the two I had, kind of like John, is like happier kind of movies, and one I actually just watched was Galaxy Quest, which is goddamn awesome.
Wait, for the first time, or
no, like for the 800th time. But my wife had never seen it.
Like what?
No, they actually did an episode in Best Movies Never Made about the script that became Galaxy Quest, because it was a more serious take.
It's so bonkers. That
It's
episode,
so
by the
weird.
way.
Did you guys
Go-
see that documentary that like Screen Junkies released?
Yes, the guy who did the doc is on the episode.
Yeah, he's on the podcast.
Okay.
It's very very
weird.
good.
It's like Buck Rogers was kind of how it started. And the guy hated the show.
Mm-hmm. He was, it's a very different movie, at least from the beginning stages to what eventually became Galaxy Quest. But you can see the seeds there. It's very interesting.
And the cast is like top heavy, but then also has a bunch of people before they were famous.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sam Rockwell is like not even Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell is being in that movie what he was in the industry at the time. He was a guy. Like
by Grapthaw's Hammer.
And it has one of the best Alan Rickman performances ever.
Oh,
yes.
And you know who I forgot was in it is Justin Long as like the nerd kid, because that's how old this movie is. He's like a baby.
That
but like
movie
Rainn
is
Wilson
sublime. I fucking love.
Oh yeah, and Rainn Wilson isn't it? But like, I actually think like this is my favorite Tim Allen movie. Like, he's so good in it as that guy.
It's like the last time I
there's a
liked
lot
him
of
in
contenders.
anything.
No, but I mean, like the Santa Claus movies have like a special place. But like, I think of like that era. This is such a departure for him.
Yeah,
kind of making fun of himself.
Hot take: that's a Christmas movie, and Christmas movies don't matter outside of Christmas time. I'm sure
that's basically all Tim Allen has is like Christmas movies in this movie, and just the TV shows.
To be fair, to be the best Tim Allen movie, it's a pretty low.
That's what I was getting at.
You know what I forgot?
Like if you're excluding Toy Story,
I was gonna say I forgot Toy Story.
Yeah, it's not great. Remember Wild Hogs, guys?
Yeah.
I saw Wild Hogs.
I do enjoy Wild Hogs. I gotta be honest.
What about Shaggy Dog or Jungle to Jungle?
Yeah. I mean, like,
guys, obviously, if we're keeping it in tune with the podcast, Zoom is clearly the best one he's ever done.
Don't even talk to me about Zoom.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Anyways,
hang on,
he is great in the movie, and him and Alan Rickman are like perfect. And
Sigourney
Weaver is amazing.
Sigourney Weaver is a fucking babe in that movie. First of all, like I've never ever found her like that kind of attractive before, but that movie in that instance, you're like, oh shit.
Not even like Ghostbusters.
That was
she's hot in Ghostbusters, but in Galaxy Quest, you're like, Jesus Christ.
That was my first Sigourney Weaver movie, that was.
Tony Shalhoub is also hilarious in that fucking movie.
I love he's really funny because he's just like not like nothing is affected.
Shit about anything happening to him, and he describes being shot through spaces like he's like that was a hell of a thing.
He's like, oh, what's wrong with them? But it's a great movie.
It's also a good Star Trek movie. I think that's the
it's
thing
the best.
A lot of people
one of the best Star Trek movies.
Yeah, like it works on both levels, which I think is that's the highest praise it can.
It's a spoof on Star Trek. Like that's
100%.
Made by people who clearly completely understand Star Trek and they appreciate what it is. Unlike people who are currently working on the shows.
Fired.
You might want to not start on the show.
Oh, that's sad.
I remember with this movie, they were supposed to have Paul Scheer do, I guess, a sequel.
Oh, they were working. So there was a sequel idea, and then Rickman died. And then Paul Scheer's been working on doing kind of a sequel kind of reboot as a show.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting. And it could be done.
It'd be like the Next Generation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would probably be like a goof like that. Yeah.
Well, the Orville already exists, so hopefully it's not the same way.
But the Orville is not that they're actors, like they're just
that's just a comedy.
And there's also an IDW comic series, which I've read a couple issues of, and it's pretty good.
Awesome. And to kind of go along with this, one I'm probably going to watch as soon as Evolution. I don't know if you guys ever watched it.
Is that the Ivan Reitman alien movie?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I believe it started off as like beginning as a Ghostbusters 3 script.
That's what I've heard, and then it morphed into something else.
Yeah, and it's David Duchovny and Orlando Jones and Sean William Scott.
I've always wanted to see it. I just never have.
Didn't Orlando Jones get stuck in an alien asshole?
Yes,
probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I remember that specifically because I saw that a while
Oh, and
ago.
you know
Oh,
who's in
oh.
it? You could ask him about or I don't know if you already did it, but Donkey Lips is in this movie
We haven't. Now apparently I'll have to bring it up to him.
because he actually
Jesus.
helped save the day. Because the big win is that they use Head and Shoulders because it has selenium in it.
Yes, they do. Yes, they use Head and Shoulders as the.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
him
watched
and
this movie a lot as a kid, and I don't have the strength to go back and
yeah,
revisit
him and
Amber
Ethan
is, 'cause
Suplee
of
are
course
like.
she is.
Yeah.
But it's
Alright.
a fun movie. There's a lot of. It's again another movie that has like people in it that are huge now, like Sarah Silverman and Ty Burrell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, I might have to go revisit. All right, so back to I guess.
Back to moi.
Oh, yeah, Connor. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
Connor, not Owen. Yeah.
So
I'm old.
yeah, I don't know how numbers work anymore. I came with 3 movies. This is the other 2. It's Record 1 and Record 2. Everybody knows them as Rec, I guess. Or if you haven't seen those, you know it as Quarantine.
Let's just say the
yeah.
Rick series, maybe. The
Yeah,
first 2.
well, don't ever watch 3 and 4 because they are piss. They're fucking bad movies, and they shit all over the cool concepts and style of the first 2 movies.
Yeah, that's
Is
what I've heard.
3 the one that heavily featured a woman in a wedding gown?
Yes,
Promotional
and it's
material?
no
All right.
longer in the first person perspective, and it tries to be funny, and it's really jarring.
Hilarious.
Yeah, especially because
Because that's a good idea.
Yeah, Record 2 is the most intensely frightening movies I've ever seen. It's fucking awesome. And I love the first one. The first one still has one of the freakiest things I've ever seen when they go up to the attic and there's that I don't even know what the fuck it is still after all these movies. This is that tall, 6-foot, saggy boobied ghoul. Like
Well, all right.
it's like my throne. And I was gonna say Quarantine also isn't bad, but Quarantine is a shot-for-shot remake of Record. So I don't know, just go watch Record. There's not really a reason to watch Quarantine.
Yeah.
Wait, that 2008 horror movie?
And if you're like anybody
Yes.
who was alive at that time, you already saw the ending of the film in the trailer.
Because
Yeah.
the trailer of Quarantine was the final shot of the film in both versions.
And it's also the poster.
Yes.
Oh,
I was
wow, that's
furious.
great. Good job. Good
Yeah.
job
Yeah.
marketing.
And here's the extra fucked up thing. When I saw Quarantine in theaters, they played a trailer for Quarantine before Quarantine started. So when it got to that shot, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm glad we've gotten to the point where that doesn't really happen much anymore. Because
Yeah.
that would piss me off too.
But the second movie takes the first movie's concept and just kind of injects some steroids into it because who's seen Quarantine or Record? Like, who knows the concept?
I
have an idea.
I vaguely remember things of it, but I don't. Well, I mean, whatever. They're older. I remember it involves like there's a quarantine going on, but you find out there's actually something much more malevolent going on.
Well, they think it's like an advanced form of rabies. They're like kind of like 28 Days Later zombies. The second movie comes in, it's like, yeah, it's that, but also demons.
Okay, so it was the second one I heard about. All right.
Yeah, because this guy who's disguised as like someone from the like WHO or some shit goes in, and later on he's ousted as a priest, and he's like, okay, so this is demonic infection is what this is, and everyone in this building is infected by a demon living upstairs, and that's
metal as
here.
hell.
And the whole movie is told from the perspective of SWAT team head cams, so the horror sequences are all shot like first-person shooters, and it's awesome.
That's
So
rad.
It's like the one good part of Doom.
Yeah, but now for a whole film, but like 9 different perspectives, and like Doom shit.
Right.
Nice. No,
yeah, Record 2 is awesome.
That's the thing. I feel like I see Record or Rec 1 around a lot on various streaming services, but I never see Rec 2 anywhere. And Rec 2 is the one that I'm always like, that sounds really cool and I want to check it out. And it's
fucking awesome.
And it's nowhere to be found. Like it feels like time has forgotten that movie to an extent.
I wish time would forget about the third and fourth one.
Well, it's got to make that
Which
money.
is funny is that there's like multiple sequels to Quarantine, and those movies have less and less to do with the original concept than anything else. Like they just get further and further from the point, and so do the actual Rec movies.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's it though. I'm gonna kind of go piggyback off everybody else's stuff, or until we get to a freeform chat.
Yeah.
Arlen?
I think it's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got a lot to pick from here. You know what? I'll just say this because we've talked about this before on the show, but these movies were they bear mentioning again. The films of Justin Moorhead and Aaron Benson, or Aaron Benson, Justin Benson. Why do I keep thinking his name is Aaron? Anyways,
I don't know.
their films. I made them into one person for a second there. Their films, which primarily include Resolution, Spring, and The Endless, and the forthcoming Synchronic, which I don't know when that's coming out now, but sometime. Hopefully soon.
I'm guessing that's probably going to go straight to streaming at this point.
Yeah. But those movies are all available on various different streaming services, and I looked it up because I love all of you, and you need to know you need to know where they all are. So Spring is currently on Shudder, I believe, yes, and then Resolution, I can't remember exactly, but The Endless is 100% on Netflix right now.
Resolution, I don't know if that's streaming anywhere. Like, I think I had to buy that.
No, Resolution was on Netflix for a while.
When you watch it, because I had to rent it when I watched it, when I wanted to watch it. But that was like a years ago, I think.
It's on Tubi.
Okay, cool.
It is on Prime, actually. It's on Prime.
Those are horror films that, like, they were coming out. I was like, I feel like I would love those, and then I just forgot about them.
They're great. They're really
well.
Good.
You have time now.
I mean, horror is not exactly the proper description of them. I mean,
genre is the word I would use.
Like, that's the thing too. Like, Spring is a very different movie than Resolution or Endless. It's still great, and it still feels a lot like their movies, but it's actually a really sweet film in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's a very sweet, like, heartwarming movie by the end. And the reason I bring it up, and we've talked about this before, is that they are technically in a shared cinematic universe, which the directors have confirmed, which just makes them really weird movies to watch, regardless of what order you watch them in, because you're just like trying to piece together how these things fit. But they're also they're good movies on their own. Resolution they're all personal movies. Also, they all feel super personal. And like they are probably torn from some corner of these people's real lives. Because Resolution is about a man who's trying to help a high school friend through his drug problems. The Endless is about like PTSD caused from being in a cult. And Spring is about dealing with like somebody in your family recent death. So they're all like, you could definitely tell that these were all written at moments in their lives where these things were happening. But they're handled very well, and it's all background for these other weird paranormal things that are going on that are very Twilight Zone-esque. Just good films, worth checking out.
It's I can't really add much to that because everything you've said is 100% correct. It's great. Like, I've watched each of their films and gone in like, all right, I'm wondering when diminishing returns are going to happen, and I haven't had it happen yet. Like, everything has exceeded my expectations for what I want out of their movies, and they've only done 3, technically 4 with the new one coming out whenever. But they are people to keep an eye on, because everything they do seems to be of real interest. Like, they have yet to disappoint.
Also, skip their VHS segment to bring up VHS again.
Oh wait,
theirs is the skateboarding in Mexico.
Oh segment. That goes on for way too fucking long.
We're just gonna forget that happened.
But look forward to Synchronic. Hopefully that comes out again in this decade. In this
hopefully. Jesus Christ.
But
who's next?
Who's next?
I forgot.
Was it you, Eric?
No, I think John jumped in after you did, Arlen.
It was John. Yes.
Okay, so trying to think if I want to jump in on TV shows is one I haven't added on here, or if I want to stick to movies. I want to go with TV show. I have a TV show. It's a show that I'm not sure if people have seen this or people have not seen this. If you haven't by this point, Go watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's so good.
Man, that's also like this is show. The show has now become things Connor has slept on that he knows he shouldn't have.
Yep.
Okay.
How have you? Okay, hold on. No. How have you slept on Avatar for this long?
I don't know.
It's so
To
good.
be honest, I just don't think it had my attention when it was getting really, really fucking big.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna admit something that John might hate me for. I don't care for Avatar that much.
You take that back, you son of a bitch.
Okay.
Says Hunter Davenport, fan of man dogs.
Yeah, you can't say
Man
shit
dogs
right
who
now.
love-
Bury
Man
the
dogs who
fucking
love bunny
lead with-
ladies.
Okay, his
with
name is
that.
Legosi. You take that back.
Oh, yeah, the name. Excuse me.
Oh,
Is that
no.
your persona?
Yes, he is my persona. Leave me alone. No, here's the thing about Avatar. I feel like it drags on for way too long. And I don't know. It's still like I like the way that it looks, and like the core concept is really cool. I just like I got bored real quick when I was watching it.
It seemed interesting, and even I feel bad for it for having that fucking movie
Yeah.
from its
Don't get me
fires.
started.
Yeah. No,
I
that
think
it
that's the
didn't deserve
Dragon
that.
Ball Evolution. That's a movie that makes me see red.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: Dragon Ball Evolution is like 80 minutes. The Last Airbender is an eternity long, and just nothing happens the entire time.
It's actually still going.
Yes,
And yeah, I still
never
tell
ends.
I still tell people because I told my girlfriend, it was like, hey, I tried convincing my girlfriend to watch it. She's like, maybe, and she's like, do I have to watch the movie? I'm like, yes, because you have to learn how bad it was before Korra came along.
I had a very interesting theatrical experience with that because I worked at the theater and we saw it for free, so why the fuck not? And I'm with just my coworkers who are all fans of this fucking show, and I'm nestled right in between all of them. And in about a half an hour, I look left and look right, and like there's just this sea of doubt across both sides. And then by like an hour, I just watched the spirits of 10 people just shatter. Like people slumped in their fucking chairs, and I was like, I hate this, but I'm like, but you guys look miserable. Like,
Well, the lead of the movie was hired off of his kung fu skills that he sent in on DVD.
Oh, okay,
So here's the
sure.
thing.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. I'll not to devil's advocate too much, but that's the kind of thing people complain about all the time, where the opposite happens, where we hire people based off their acting skills and they can't fight with shit. So yeah, I kind of understand that. Also, it is a kid. You're hiring a kid,
But as your lead, that's like
yeah, I know. I'm just
All I'm
saying.
gonna say is, thank God Netflix is doing another live action show. Thank God they got the original creators on board. Thank God.
Well, and they have close connections to the creators. And I again, devil's advocate, I want to be on Hunter's side a little bit. Even Voltron kind of suffered from that a little bit, of being a little bit too long and maybe having a few too many episodes.
Yeah, the other problem I feel like with Voltron is that Voltron is 7 seasons. Avatar is a perfect 3, and even the filler episodes are boring.
Sure, yeah, and again, not to make this too much about Voltron, but like, it's very clear that last season is not what the creators intended.
No, it is not.
At all. People can look that up on their own because we're not going into that here.
No, not.
But I do think that, just again, from having not seen Avatar myself, but having seen Voltron, I can see where Hunter is coming from, especially since that show was on Nickelodeon, and yeah, like Nickelodeon's gonna Nickelodeon, even if it's something very high quality. Like,
I mean, I'll
those
even say at
networks
least
depend
Nickelodeon
on
let the
children
people of
sticking around.
Avatar do their story, unlike Korra, which got really fucked over.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that as well.
Korra got really fucked over in the long run, which kind of sucks because that was not as good as Avatar, but just as good, but still good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if you want a good like show with good writing, really good character development, like some of the best I personally have seen, especially with one of the villains, I would recommend Avatar wholeheartedly. Fuck the movie. The movie can go die in a fucking hole.
Yeah. Support those creators. I think is the point that we're getting at.
Support those two
look.
guys. I'm going to be really excited when I see what happens when that new live action show drops.
Yeah.
I wish I had more to say about this show.
Yeah.
Watch it, Connor. Damn it.
No, don't do it.
Shut up.
Don't watch it.
It's okay,
Don't
Hunter.
watch it at all.
I have a show like that. It's Firefly. I can't do it. I don't know what it is.
I can't either. I can't.
Okay.
God, there's more.
Connor, don't listen to the man who recommended a show about bestiality.
It's not okay. They're
I
both
mean-
animals. Fuck you.
Well, okay,
Or furries,
on
whatever
the
the fuck. I
Firefly-
don't care.
So, Connor, I don't know when you watched Firefly, but for me, it was like 10, 15 years after. So all I had heard my entire life was Firefly's the best show. Firefly is so amazing. And when you have 15 years of people telling you that, it's pretty hard to actually live up to it.
Yeah.
It's not it's not going to work out.
I mean,
well.
it's pretty much what happened, but yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I watched it years ago, like when it finally came out properly on DVD, and I enjoyed it at the time, but I don't think I could ever go back and revisit it. The movie itself, Serenity, is actually pretty. Like, I still think
love the
that's.
movie.
I
Yeah.
still
That's the
think
only
that's
thing I've seen is the
good.
movie, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then you
so
don't
it's not
need
the
to
characters
see the show.
or the world
No.
that we don't like. It's just the show, I think.
I'm also
Yeah.
kind of always down for Nathan Fillion. I haven't watched anything he's not funny in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie's great. I can't speak for the show at this point, though, especially based on the creator of the show and all the things behind him at this point.
He's not a great guy.
Yeah. Hunter, next. You got some more,
Okay.
got
let's
some more
talk about
dog porn for us?
No, let's talk about Animal Crossing. Speaking of dog porn.
So you have a theme tonight.
Wow, those
Yeah.
games got real different the time I stopped
God
playing.
damn it.
No, Animal Crossing is great. Especially like if you need. It's like I play for about a couple hours each day. It's a great like meditative game. It's not.
Mhm.
You don't have any goals. You're just doing stuff like talking to people or like gathering materials. And like it's a game that is a great shut off your brain and kind of just enjoy kind of a nice peaceful thing. Especially now, I need something where I can turn off my brain.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing is great.
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
I can personally attest to how fun those games are because I had 3DS and I don't know which one. I think it was like one of the first ones for that platform anyway, and I was fucking addicted to it.
It's great.
It's very Minecrafty, where it is something you just go in and go, I don't need to do anything in particular, but I can do whatever I want.
That's the thing. Like, I'm glad people enjoy it. Like, that's awesome. It just, knowing myself, I wouldn't be able to get into it. Like, I don't have enough free time to just throw into something where it's like, nope, you don't have a goal other than paying back this asshole Tom Nook. Like, I don't have the time or the energy for it. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate what the game is doing for people I know who enjoy it, but it's not for me, man.
You know, I would probably really like to enjoy it. It's just I have other games to play, and it's like I don't know. Nothing has driven me to want to play it, even though I like games like Harvest Moon, which is sort of similar to it.
Yeah. Well, Harvest Moon's more like you have a goal in Harvest Moon. You can make your goal in Harvest Moon is to fuck bitches, get money. That's it.
Wow.
Damn.
I love Harvest Moon. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a reason why the Animal Crossing games are, but like I said, just I don't understand why people enjoy these things.
I don't know why you like playing as a weird doll in an animal town.
Yeah.
No,
I don't have a Switch, so I couldn't play it if I wanted
That too.
to.
That too.
Yeah. So
I just can't justify owning a Switch at this point.
Hunters, like someone just walks in and sees Hunter, like one screen is Animal Crossing, one screen is Beastars, and it's just like back up slowly.
Yep.
yes.
No,
Yeah.
wait. Let me tell you about them.
So is this episode going to be
Wait,
called
come back.
Hunter's a furry? Question mark.
wait.
I mean,
no, you don't understand.
Now you said it aloud. I mean, yeah.
I'm just
I'm wrong.
saying.
It's called yiffing.
Jesus
John,
Christ.
God damn it. God damn it. Oh my.
So, Hunter, did you have anything else to add about
No.
Okay. I'm
All
going
right.
to I'm going to jump into comics for my pick.
Mm.
And there's a lot of stuff out there that's great, but I'm just
Mhm.
gonna throw you into the deep end here and suggest The Invisibles by Grant Morrison.
Ooh, I
Um,
got that.
yeah, it it has 3 different like chapters to it, for lack of a better term. I mean, not just the individual issues, but like the first 12 or 15 issues. Actually, it's more than 24 issues, I think. Luke, back me up. Like,
I actually have not read it. That's part of my
okay,
isolation
to read
reading.
pile. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the first quarter of it is very different from the second, and the third is a completely different story from what's going on in the first and second. They're all connected, and you are introduced to characters that play throughout the whole thing, but it's Grant Morrison completely unchained from any tethers that would hold him back from doing the exact story he wants to do. Like, I would try and explain the whole thing to you, but I've read the book multiple times, and I'm not 100% sure what's going on sometimes in it,
But
because
that's
he is
Grant
hitting.
Morrison.
Not really though, because you can read like his Batman run, and if you know what he's going for, understand it. And same thing with like We Three, or I wouldn't say it's all dark magic and it's very gory. But he does have times where he's like just this is the story I'm telling, A, B, and C are what happens, and it equals D. This is A equals a number you've never seen before because it doesn't exist in the human consciousness. Like it's every bit of esoteric knowledge that he's ever been into. It's every bit of conspiracy theories that you some who haven't, and they actually do exist, and he's putting this into his magnum opus, and it's rewarding in ways that I still don't understand yet. Like, and I read this comic when it was coming out in individual issues, so I've been following this series forever, and I still love it to this day. And I'm the only one who's read it, so nobody has.
Yeah, I don't know jack shit about this.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, the Invisibles are a group of terrorists, for lack of a better term, trying to open up humans' consciousness to become better people. And then there's a group of the Archons, who are the gods from another world, who are here to who are here to enslave mankind and basically turn them into everything that you imagine evil about corporations is.
I feel like there should be that Rogan meme of like, have you done shrooms, should be for comic book nerds, would be Morrison.
Yeah, well, and specifically the Invisibles, because it's like I said, like, I'm pretty well versed in comics and pretty well versed in a lot of the things he's bringing up in there, and even then, like, I'm like there's a point where the main character King Mob, who fun story, Grant Morrison had I forget what it was. He had some sort of terrible disease, and
he had blood poisoning or something like that.
It was something even more serious than that.
Yeah.
Like he was going to die in the hospital, and the way he tells the story is that he made a deal with the disease to immortalize it in a story to let him go.
Oh,
so
that's creepy as fuck.
He put the disease in the story, and he got better. Now, I don't know if that's because the hospital was filling him full of antibiotics and all the things he needed, but
no, it was my story.
But still, just little stories like that are what make this interesting when you're behind the scenes with them. Like King Mob, the one main character, ends up summoning John Lennon as a godhead figure for Vice at one point. Like,
I gotta read this fucking book.
You do. It's
I have the Omni like right over, and next to that is his Doom Patrol run.
Yeah, like the Invisibles Omnibus is bigger than the Doom Patrol Omnibus, and I think the size of it is a great metaphor for the ideas that are in it.
It's bigger than the Final Crisis Omni by like a little bit.
Like, it's super intimidating when you first pick it up. About halfway through, like, oh, this is starting to make some sense. And then by the time you get to the end, it makes sense, and you feel like you've gone on trip, but then you can just start over again in like 6 months after you've done a little research into some of the things he talks about in it, and it'll read completely different for you. Like it is, I cannot encourage people enough who have any interest in the esoteric, magic, conspiracy theories, and just written comic stories to check this series out. Like there's a multitude of ways to read it. I encourage you, I plead with you to read it so I don't sound like a crazy person here.
Well, you've already done that, but I think you've sold some people also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Go read Grant Morrison shit, but
and it's like 1,091 pages. So
It's
if
1,500
you do
pages.
50, it's 15. So if you get the omnibus, you'll be reading for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
God.
All right, Lou, you want to go?
So I'm gonna go with my TV stuff first because that way it's a little bit lighter to flip flop from. So the first one, which I just started again, is Daria, and I love that show. It is like one of my favorite OG MTV things that they ever did. Like not so spin-off of like Beavis and Butthead, but totally different creative team. But it's just like it's really dry, really funny. I guess if you were, I don't know if it's like growing up in that era when it was like on, being a little bit younger than the character, but like yeah, it's like a great like outsider, funny, very sarcastic podcast or TV show.
Yeah, that was a show that like
it's all on Hulu.
Yeah, well, it came out like around the time that I was starting to kind of get bored with Beavis and Butthead, and I just automatically assumed the connection was there. So I only caught a couple episodes, and I was like, and I mean, this is when I was like 13. Well, I mean, according to you guys, I would have been like 52 when this came out. So
97 is when it started.
Yeah. So I was 19. So I was more interested in smoking pot and getting laid, which didn't happen. Yeah.
This all checks out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a fun show.
Clearly none of the rest of us have any thoughts on it.
I've never seen it properly. I know of it, but
I'm committed to listening because my connection's starting to suck.
Oh yeah.
Well, dropping in and out helped me, but I guess I'll jump to my other one since we don't have anything, which is the Tim Dini verse.
Yes.
Which is that'd be Batman the Animated Series, The New Adventures of Batman, Justice League, Limited, Static, Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
There was another side one, but like you don't need to watch
Zeta Projects.
I think that was like a Static spinoff, or was it a?
I think it was a Beyond spinoff.
No, I do want to point this out. Be careful with any of the movies that spun out of the Dini-verse.
Yeah. Well, the more recent ones, especially.
Yes, because a lot of them.
Mask of the Phantasm is fucking spectacular.
Yes, obviously. Yes. But anything direct-to-video is kind of hit or miss. Like, I can't remember what it was. The Fatal 5, that was really good.
Fatal 5 was good, but that was, and that's in that actual universe.
Yeah.
I would also say I liked, even though like 5 episodes spliced into one movie, I liked the Superman Batman movie.
Sure,
yes.
I would.
The original
I'm
crossover.
The things that were just pure movies, like
the
Doomsday movie. I remember being okay, but
the bad one is the Killing Joke.
Yeah,
but the older movies are good. Like the Batman Beyond movie is fucking awesome.
Sure. Yeah, I remember that being.
Especially because like the changes in the beginning, like
especially because and Hunter will, or not Hunter, it's gonna be Connor will appreciate that. That's how I discovered who Static X was.
God damn it!
You discovered that band in the weirdest thing they've ever done. Okay, which is Wayne Static do his hair like bat ears and sing in the fucking Batcave. It is surreal.
Listen, that's the song I remember. Whenever you bring up Static X, I'm like, oh, so the guys who did the Batman Beyond song.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's
Bossy go fire.
And just to like go back to like it's so good, and they interconnect all the shows really well. So I think it's like Batman, Superman, the New Adventures, and then they drop the other two and they go to Justice League and
JLU.
And JLU, and then Static is like during JLU, I believe.
I think it might be during Justice League proper.
Might be during because he jumps in on their episodes.
Yeah, because John's wearing Justice League
the bald head.
Costume. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He has hair.
Right, he still has hair, and it's not that costume with the white outlines that he has, and yeah,
and basically, this is the voice cast that everybody loves and everything is in all these things.
I mean, it's hours of Kevin Conroy,
and Mark Hamill.
Yes,
yeah, but specifically Conroy, who's in all of the shows at some point or another, like just
Kevin. Like the voice cast is in Justice League is just amazing. Because what's his name is Lex too.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah. And the guy who played Lex Luthor in Smallville, I'm shocked that I'm the one bringing this up. Yeah, is the Flash.
We can't escape it.
No, we can't.
And while I didn't get to watch all of Justice League Unlimited, I kind of jumped around with it. I know there were a couple episodes that were written by Warren Ellis. Which is which is awesome. And the last episode of Justice League Unlimited is so goddamn good.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it Unlimited that has the episode where Wally runs around the planet multiple times to keep punching Brainiac in the face?
That's like one of the last episodes of Unlimited.
Yeah, that's my favorite fucking episode. Of that show.
The best episodes I think are the Question, the Double Date.
Yes.
The Question Huntress and Green Arrow, Black Canary. The final episode, which is like all the flashback, and I think is that the final episode's the same one with the Joker and the Royal Flush Gang, right? With 10.
Yeah, might be. I mean, I mostly remember it for the Flash thing and for Superman's speech.
I think that is. Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
I binged them all around the time that Batman versus Superman was coming out. So it's been a minute.
I've never seen Batman and Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero, or Mystery of the Batwoman.
Batman Sub-Zero, because they changed that character forever with this show.
Yeah,
which is the thing.
Yeah. I've somehow never seen this. I have no idea the poster.
Yeah,
but the voice cast
of Batwoman is interesting.
Yeah, I'm like looking through the cast. Is like Powers Booth is Gorilla Grodd. Ron Perlman is Clayface.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's not Otis Dog Reporter in the background.
Yeah, because it kind of ties into like my video game thing, which is I've been playing. I just platinumed the Lego DC villains, and all of these guys are in it. Like nice. They all do it, and then the other two people that do stuff is Brandon Routh does a couple voices.
Yes,
including his version of the Atom, and then Zach Levi does all his stuff.
Michael Rosenbaum's in that game too.
Yep, he does the Flash.
Yeah.
Those oh, go ahead. I
was just to say, and the other big one that does a bunch of stuff is Phil Lamar.
Okay.
Oh god, he's everywhere. I think he plays two characters in Injustice 2, and it's really bizarre when they share the screen together.
Probably does Green Lantern and somebody else.
That's what it is. He does Green Lantern, Jon Stewart, and he does Aquaman. So you can have those two voice actors just talk shit at each other.
Because
I'm sorry, that one voice actor.
He's the voice of Aquaman in Young Justice cartoon.
Oh right, yeah.
He actually, I'll share a video. He did a YouTube video talking about
Tobey Maguire. I mean,
he did a great YouTube video going through all his voices, like Samurai Jack and what's the character from Foster's Home. He did the voice for.
Oh, Wilt.
Yes.
Oh my god, he was Wilt.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Oh shit.
He is like one of the best voice actors out there.
Foster's Home is also severely underrated.
It is.
Foster's Home is amazing. It
doesn't have enough dogmen for me.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Also,
wow. You see where you are.
I'm surprised it doesn't have enough dogmen for Hunter.
Anya is the one, guys.
No, it's got this weird bird thing, so maybe ?
Hunter starts the show as like one dog man. I win. He's like 5 more. This is my favorite show ever.
It's like 10 more. Oh, 10 more. We are in a.
Apparently he does the voice for Ragdoll on Flash. which I don't remember that character talking.
Neither do I.
And apparently he's also
yeah.
he's Kotal Khan in MK11.
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, Connor, did you want to add another item to the list, or
No, I'm getting really tired.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, if you wanna check out, and because we can still go if everybody else.
Yeah, I gotta take a
I'm
shower
good.
because I have to go back to work tomorrow. Unfortunately, my weekend is over.
Yeah, I have one more day off tomorrow because I
Yeah.
chose 2 long weekends in a row to take off for my birthday, and the worst long weekends ever.
But yeah, and I gotta go back to work with all this whole fucking COVID thing going on, so it's gonna be extra stressful. All right, have a fun rest of the show. I'll talk to you later.
Join us later this week for all your favorite Phantom Zone hosts. Me, Hunter, Lou, John, Erik, but not Connor. He didn't come back. So, yeah.